Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this one, we're gonna be looking at a sectional drawing. So this one takes a bit of time, so let me just get right into it. I don't want the video to be too long. Alright, so here we're looking at our our floor plan. What we need right now, for before we can draw the sectional, we need to know where our cutting or a cut takes place. Alright, so usually CSEC would give you, or not usually, they will give you, if you're going to do a sectional drawing, they will give you a floor plan with the cut, where the cut is supposed to be. So I'm just going to draw that in. Let me put it in a place where I could show you everything that you need to know. So I'll cut through a window and this wall. I can cut through the door also. Okay, let me just cut through the window. Alright, so I'll cut through right here. Just make a copy of this, put it over here. Alright, so let's consider this our cut. And if you remember, this cutting plane line basically says that we are cutting through the building right here. Where the line is, this is where we are cutting, and then where the arrows are pointing, that's the direction that we're looking at. So essentially what we'll have is a cut right through this window and wall, through this wall. This door will be closed, so it's not like we're going to be cutting through an open door. This door will be closed off, as far as our drawing is concerned. So we'll be cutting through this wall, and we're looking in this direction. Now this cut is right from the top of the roof all the way down to the foundation. Okay, so when you're doing a sectional drawing, you have to draw everything from the roof, the walls of the building, and the foundation. All right, so let me just make a copy of this, because as you know, we have to pull down some projection lines in order to properly do this cut. Now what some people do, they, after redrawing the floor plan, they would use the trim tool and trim away the bottom half so that they can only, they would only focus on this piece down here. So yeah, as I was saying, what some people do, they would trim away all of this down here, get rid of everything, and only leave the part that we're going to be drawing the thing for, drawing the sectional drawing for. So I can actually go ahead and do it, just to let you see, kind of what that's like. And once we have cut all of this, once we've trimmed all of this away, because this is our line basically, we can actually just delete this, delete everything here. It's not really a big deal, because this whole thing up here is temporary. We actually don't need it to do, well, we need it to do the drawing, but we don't need it as part of the drawing, the finishing. So I can just delete all of this, but the truth is, it doesn't really matter. You could leave it, because that's what we're accustomed doing. I usually leave everything there, and I just put my lines down just the same. I really need to change the setting on this trim tool. Alright, so essentially what we're gonna do is just pull the lines down, just like what we usually do when we're doing like elevations also. pull the lines down that we need. But it doesn't matter if you leave everything there, it really does not matter. Okay. So I'm gonna put it back because I like to see everything in perspective. I like to see everything after I'm finished drawing, I can envision, oh wait, this is where the line is and all of that kind of stuff. All right. So first things first, we just want to pull along some lines. You can make your baseline first, or you can just pull along some lines. It doesn't really matter. Once I know my baseline is going to be around here somewhere, so I'm just going to pull it down there. Then I'm going to make a copy of this line, and then just pull along myself. So I know that here, this is where this wall is being cut through, so I need to pull that wall down. I'm going to put 2 points right here at this wall, like so, and 2 points right here at this wall, and I'm going to put one also at the roof, like so. All right, now remember, everything behind this cut and plane line is not going to be visible, because where the line is where we are standing, and where the arrows are pointing is where we're looking. So if we're standing here, we'll be looking at this wall over here, so we'll be able to see this wall, and the window will be cutting through this wall. We'll be seeing this wall and the window, and we'll be cutting through this wall also. All right, so basically that's all we need for the walls. If we need anything else, we'll put it back in. Next, I'm going to run a line through here. In your exam, you probably won't have already drawn elevations to take references off of this, so I'm just going to do it as if I don't have any reference. I'm going to put the ground line like so. All right, so remember we said we just like when we did the elevation, we have the ground line. This is like the earth, the ground outside. Then we want to have a step up. So let me do about 450 millimeters to step up to the floor of our house. So this is the floor that you'll be walking around on for the house. Just like the elevation, we're going to complete this whole drawing. Okay, so let's do another offset. I think we used 9 feet last time, so 9 feet. Whip out the calculators. We're going to convert 9 feet into millimeters, so that's 9 feet, and I'm going to multiply that by 300 in order to turn it into millimeters, so that's 2,700 millimeters. Okay, don't mind the dogs barking. Okay, yeah, maybe you don't even hear them. All right, so we're gonna offset another line, and the distance is going to be 2,700 millimeters from the floor to 9 feet up. That is going to be the bottom of our eave. All right, and then from here to the top of our ridge board is going to be 5 feet. Now, if CSEC gives you this, use the measurement CSEC gives you. Otherwise, you can use this measurement here. So another offset, we're going to use 5 feet. 5 feet in millimeters multiplied by 300, that's 1,500. So I'm going to offset that like so, just like we did when we did the elevation. Now, right away we can see how the drawing is going to look. Let me just trim away. Actually, let me leave it. Right, so we can see the wall that we've cut through over here, these 2 lines. We can see the wall in the middle of the house, these 2 lines, and we can see this wall over here that we've cut through also, these 2 lines. This is the roof. And we'll deal with that after. Okay, so let's deal with doing, okay, so there's a cut through on this window here. Now the window, you would have, when you're cutting through the window, notice that this part in the middle, this is actually the window, this and this. All right, the window is actually a very thin piece, a thin member within the wall. Okay, so all of this out here is not actually window, this is actually just a space. All right, so when we are drawing that, you want to represent that also. Let me just see how far apart this is. So this here is 25, and then it's 63 from that side. It's probably less on this side. No, the same, 63. All right, so we could use that measurement. Now this just depends on the floor plan. Okay, this is how the window is in my floor plan, so I'm going to do it like this. All right, first things first, you need to know that the window starts about 3 feet off the ground. I don't know if that's how I did it over here. Let me check it out. So from the bottom of the window, right, 900, which is 3 feet. So I'm going to offset 900 millimeters, which is 3 feet, and this is going to be the bottom of the window. Now my window is going to be 4 feet high, so I'm going to offset this line also 4 feet, which is 1200 millimeters. So the window is going to fall in between this space right here. So finally I'm just going to make a copy of these lines like so, and put them like that, like that, like that, like that. So these are where the windows are going to go. I can just go ahead and clean it up right away in here. I can go ahead, I can do it both ways. I can go ahead and trim this out like this, all right, or I can use my fillet tool. Hit M for multiple, make sure my radius R is 0, okay, and then I can just do this, and it will get rid of the lines. I like the fillet method. It gets rid of all the lines right away, than just trimming, because you have to trim all the way around, and then you still have to go and delete these lines afterwards and all that. Okay, either way it's the same thing, no biggie. The other window we actually cut through, and it falls right in between here. So what we're going to do, I am going to, we can offset this line, but it's going to create some lines all the way up here. So what I'm going to do is draw a short line that overlaps this line like so. All right, I hit escape, and then I'm going to make a copy or offset of this line. Let me do an offset of 63, I think I measured. So like so, on the inside like that, and then from this side like that. So right in here, this is what it did. It carried the same thing I was talking about not doing. All right, so let me just delete that line. Offset, I believe it was 25, 1 inch inside. So this is the window that we've just cut through on the inside. This window right here that we've cut through. So looking at it, cutting through here and looking at it in that direction, we'll see the wall, and then we'll see the window. All right, and then we'll just basically go to the design center and pull the windows out, and the usual thing, stretch them and stuff like that, so that we can fit them in this space. I am not going to go through all of that again. We already have, you can go ahead and do it, but I already have a window that was drawn here. Already. So I'm just going to take this window and place it there and there. All right, you could probably do this window better in terms of stretching. Or you could even draw the window, because it's really just, put a frame on the inside, maybe an inch, and then put some lines going across the middle, 2 lines going across the middle, and then just clean it up with some trimming, no problem. All right, so we have the windows that we can see in the house like so. This one and this one. We have this one that we've cut through. Now this inside of the room here, this wall is already done. We've cut through this wall. We can see we've cut through this wall, and we can see in this room this is also done. All we need to do really is just put some hatch lines in all of the walls that we've cut. So we've cut here, we need to put some hatch lines here. We've cut here, we need to put some hatch lines there, and we've cut here, we need to put some hatch lines over here. So I am actually gonna just clean this up right away. Oh Lord. Let me clean this up using the trim tool like so. Wait, trim tool like so. And then I'll just get rid of this, delete that. Alright, so let me just switch to the hatch layer, hatch tool, and then I'm going to use the mitre 45-degree hatch lines. It's already set to 1500 for the spacing, so let me just put these lines in here like so. Right, like so, and over here like so. Remember, this door would be closed, so we're not actually cutting through this open door. This door is closed. I should have really trimmed out here too. Anyways, yeah, so that's basically that. Let's do the roof. So we can actually see where this hip takes place by pulling down some lines. So let me just make a copy of this line like so. Put one here and one here. That's where the hip is gonna be taking place. The slope of the roof is gonna be coming down like this. But before we do all of that, before we proceed with that, let's remember we said this is our eave line, the bottom of our fascia board. Alright, so in our drawing we used 1 inch by 1 by 8 inch board for fascia board. So the thickness is going to be, well, the thickness of the board is 1 inch, and the width of it going up is going to be 8 inches, which is 200 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and offset this one upwards 200 millimeters. I believe that's the same thing I did over here, right? So remember, the rafters, well, in our drawing, the rafters we're using 2 by 6. Okay, so they are not going to be as wide as this fascia board, so let's just keep that in mind. All right, so the next thing what I want to do is run some lines. Let me just switch back to walls layer. Run some lines. Where is the roof? From the corner of the house to where the hip starts. So that's gonna be here, like so. And then same thing from over here to there. Now, if this was not a sectional drawing, the roof would have been, basically complete. But remember, now that we've cut through the roof here, we have to see the rafter that sits right there. Okay, and we have to see the ridge board that runs right here. So what we're gonna do is make an offset of the thickness of whatever the ridge board is. So same as the rafter, I'm making the ridge board 2 by 6, so 6 inches downwards. That's what I'm going to offset, which is 150 millimeters. So I'm going to come down 150 millimeters, and then I'm going to make a copy of this line to be the bottom of the rafter. So from here to there, and then do the same thing over on this side, like so. All right. So if you notice, this is our rafter, and these two lines represent our fascia board. The fascia board is wider than the rafter, and that's fine. Okay, but whatever dimension CSEC gives you, you just use them. If they don't give you, use what you want. I mean, input in still within the confines of the standards. All right, so you want to use some size board that they won't typically use in building. All right, 2x4s, 2x6, one by 8, and so on. That's what you would be using standard typically. So don't go make up your own weird measurements. All right. So because this is a section and we've cut through here, we're not gonna be seeing this fascia board running across the front of, well, through the middle of the building. All right, we'll only see the fascia board if we were standing out here looking at the building. All right, but we would see the back of the fascia board from this corner as it goes behind of the wall. So we're gonna have to show that fascia board coming across here, but it will end right where the wall ends. So I'm going to actually just trim away right in there, and do it on the other side also, and then I could just delete the inside because we don't need the inside. All right. um all right, so this is where the board is running. This is where the board runs in behind of the building, so we're not gonna see that. What we would see though is the top of the wall. Now typically we draw we have the height of the wall set 10 feet. We'll use 9 feet to show where the fascia board, the bottom of the fascia board is, but our height of our walls can be 10 feet or whatever measurements you're accustomed to. I usually use 10 feet. CSEC might give you a measurement, they might not. If they don't, you could use your discretion because they usually say that. Let me just see how 10 feet looks. So that's 3000 millimeters. Let me see if I can offset that upwards. Right, so let's just say this is the top of our wall, like so. All right, so I'm gonna just trim away all these lines like so. This one, that one, this one, that one. All right, so that's going to be the top of our wall, and I'm going to leave that like that. So, and then all we need to do now is just get rid of these lines. Get rid of, let me just trim them off this way. All right, so I'm noticing something here. Ideally the rafter should be resting on the wall. So what I'm going to do, rather than adjusting the rafter, I'm actually going to adjust the wall to come across right where this rafter is. All right, so I'm actually going to redo that line that I just drew, the 10 feet line and so on. All right, now typically the other way that I usually do this, I put the wall 10 feet and then I put the rafter on it and build my way upwards. But we put the we establish the height of the roof first, so now we have to adjust everything else so that it fits properly. So I'm actually just gonna move it, right, and then I'm gonna just bring these lines upwards to meet this. So I think I could use the extend tool and use that. So these lines will just be extended until they meet the next line, like so. All right. Okay, so this was for our roof, so I'm gonna delete that. We no longer need them. This was for our wall. We already drew the wall, so we don't need that. We don't need these anymore, and we already separated them from this. So I'm just gonna click on these, delete them here. Same thing on this side, delete these like so. We no longer need this because we know we already drew the overhang of the roof, but we would need to redraw this line coming down here like so. All right, notice I came all the way down because remember this is our fascia board. Our fascia board is longer than our rafters. Alright, I'm just gonna trim away these lines like so. No longer need them. I'm gonna trim these off rather than trying to um try to delete them. So now what I need to do is just draw some lines to show that this piece of board is joining up to this piece of board. Right, because it's not one piece of board and it doesn't bend like that. It's the ridge board, and then we attach it to this, attach this board over here to it. We need to clean this up. We would not see this line because this piece of board here, this hip rafter, is going to be blocking part of the fascia board that's running behind the building. So that's why I'm deleting this piece like so. And our hatch layer has to come all the way up, so I'm just going to click on it and then bring it up like so. Otherwise it's going to be left sharp. So I can click here, bring the hatch up like that, on the other side also. So the drawing is almost complete. We just need to do the foundation because we've cut through the roof, the walls, a window, and so on. We also need to show the rafters in here. So remember, when we cut through, it's like we cut through this part of the roof here. So we'll see all of these rafters, all of these rafters, we'll see them. If we're standing here looking that direction, we will see these rafters. So you can use your multi-line tool, or you could use just draw two lines, 2 inches apart, and do that. Whatever the specifications CSEC give you for the rafters, go ahead and do that. Alright, so let me draw. So let me use the multi-line tool, and I'm going to draw the line coming down here. Actually, I didn't even choose which multi-line I'm going to be using. So let me use the rafters multi-line. Set this as current. Okay. So we're going to run a line ML. Okay. Let me see. Alright. I'm just using multi-line ML and bring it down. So notice that I need to adjust the justification for this line. It is set to look like 0. So it is using my bottom line as the main line. So I need to edit that by hitting ML. I believe I wonder if it's edit. No, it's not edit. Sorry, that's ML for multi-line, and change the justification down here to 0. 0 is going to put the multi-line in make the center line my main line. So let me just bring this down like so. I have my line like that. So all I need to do now is just make copies of this line. I'm going to put one grab the center and put it right there. And then I'm going to just basically copy this line from here, come across 2 feet, 600 millimeters, like so. And then I'm going to copy this, but select behind here as my base point and keep coming across like so. Now I like to work my way inward from both sides, because I want my rafters 600. Now let's see if I do another 600, where it will land me. If I put this here, it will land me right there. So these, if I work my way inwards, these two rafters would end up like that. So I'm just gonna delete that one. I have these two rafters here and these two rafters there, and this gap in between here is a little bigger, so we could actually put one right in the middle there, if we want. There's no problem with having more reinforcement, a stronger roof. What you don't want is a bigger gap and the rafter is supposed to be 2 feet apart on center. Okay, so let me just make a couple more copies, go in the other direction, like so. This one will probably end up out here, so that we're not going to use that. And then we use this one like so. Coming out like that, same thing with that one. Alright, so if I use my trim tool and try to trim this off, you see it works just like a line. But this part, I can't trim this part because this part is good, this part is not. If I trim here, hair gets trimmed and it's not allowing me to do that. So what I can do, I'll show you two ways. I can explode it so that I could work with these 3 lines individually. So this one, I can just delete that, so I'll trim that away. The second way we can deal with it is to use the multi-line edit and use that, the close cross. Let's see if this will work. This line and that line. Okay, so that didn't work. Alright, but usually you could use the multi-line edit tool and click that, and then the line you wanted to cut off at. But I guess it's the same reason why we can't trim it. So I'll do the same thing. I'll explode it and then trim it away. Alright, let's just get rid of these like so. The other thing is, I'm actually gonna explode all of these lines just so that I could get rid of the center line. Alright, we only needed the center line to really draw the roof, the rafter. So go ahead and do this like so. Alright, so that's for the top half of the house, and the walls and everything. Alright, so this part down here we're gonna do the footing, the foundation. Alright, so here's how we do it. Under every wall we're going to have our foundation. Just we know that, just remember our foundation plan. Also we did the same thing. We have our foundation wall with our footing down here, etc. So in our plan, our foundation walls are going to be using 8-inch blocks. They are thicker than the walls above. CX, pay attention to it. CX might tell you to use the same 6-inch blocks for your foundation, or they might actually tell you to use 8-inch blocks. I'm going to choose the harder route, just in case. If it's the same 6-inch blocks, then you already have your walls coming on here. That's fine. So I'm gonna use 8-inch blocks below. Alright, so first things first, what we need to do is okay, this is the ground of our house. This is the ground outside of our house. Let me just trim these away like so. So we have that step up, step out, step down from our house onto the ground outside like so. Now the footing of our foundation is going to be, it has to be buried at least at a minimum of 2 feet under the ground. Okay, so I'm going to use that as my my marker. So I'm going to offset 2 feet or 600 millimeters from the ground, and this is going to be the top of my footing. Okay, now the footing is the same height as a block. A block is can be 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, but the height remains the same for all the blocks. It's 8 inches, which is the same height as our footing. I'm going to offset 8 inches or 200 millimeters downwards. So this is going to be our footing down here, and then the wall is going to be on top of that up here. All right, so I'm going to actually offset this side to make the footing a bit wider, the foundation block a bit wider. All right, so here we go. So we know this wall right here is already 6 inches or 150 millimeters. We need to make it 200, but instead of offsetting it equally on both sides, we're going to offset it more on the inside because, well, we know how these walls are supposed to be. All right, so that's the way I'm going to do this one. I don't think it will be a big deal if you decide to offset it evenly on both sides. All right, it won't be a big deal, but I'm going to put it on just the inside. I'll do the same over here. I put it on the inside, but this one I'll offset it on both sides. Okay, so let's go with the offset tool. Remember, we only need, it's 150 already, we need it to be 200, so we need to offset it 50 more, 50 millimeters more. So we'll offset this line like so, and then I'll go and trim away the top part like that, and trim away here also. Then we are going to use our extend tool and extend these lines downwards to meet the footing like so. Lastly, let's see, remember that the footing is 3 times the width of the foundation block. So this here is 200, so that means this is 1, we need another 200, 2, and another 200 over here, 3. In other words, it's going to be 600. So I'm going to offset 200 millimeters that side and that side, and then trim this away, trim that away, and then extend these lines downwards, and then trim away this and that. Alright, cool. So we have our foundation wall, and then we have our footing underneath here like so. Next up, I'm going to do the same under here, but I'm just gonna trim away this stuff right here. What I'm going to do, since I've already done it, I'm going to copy these lines. So I'm going to make a copy of these lines like so, and then I'm going to put this here like so. Alright, so I put it on the inside, lined up the outside, and put the other part on the inside. So now I just gotta trim this up. Now you can do it manually, or you could make your life easier and trim things, and copy things and stuff like that. I like to make my life easy. So let's trim away these lines in the middle there. So just this piece in the middle here, now we need to do the whole wall thing coming down. Alright, so let me do it manually, but I could actually just make a copy of this. So let me just use my offset tool, This is 100 millimeters, so I need it to be 200, so that means 50 on that side, 50 on the other side. So I'm going to offset distance 50 on both sides, and then I'm going to use extend and extend it downwards, like so. Boom, boom, and then trim away the top part because we don't need that. All right, and then we're gonna offset 200 millimeters again for these members so that we could get the footing. Guys, there's so many ways you could do this. We could have just copied these over here, use here as the base point and put it across there. In fact, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna make a copy of these, use here as the base point, and then put it across here. Boom. Same thing. I didn't even need these lines. I mean, there's a million and one ways you could do the same thing. So this thing is, once you know how to use your tools, you could use them to solve problems that you meet along the way. Alright, so we have this step down of 450 millimeters to the ground, and then, I mean, this step down could be whatever you want. 1 foot, I have a foot and a half, 450 millimeters. Could be 2 feet, who knows. But then this part is, this distance is what is important. It must be at least 2 feet or 600 millimeters. Your footing must be buried at least 2 feet or 600 millimeters under the ground of the outside. All right. I'm just gonna delete these lines so that I'm gonna walk my way down. All right. So we don't have to go into all the details for this drawing, but I am going to probably do it anyway. Now I'm gonna offset 25 millimeters. This is going to be my floor finish, so I'm going to offset upwards because the floor finish is done on top of the concrete slab. So you don't have to put that in, so I just put it in there just to show you, but you do not have to put in this floor finish for your sectional. And then beneath this floor finish, you're gonna have the 100 millimeter thick concrete slab. So we're gonna offset 100 millimeters. And you need to learn these, because CSEC is not gonna give you these. I highly doubt it. Trust me. So that's that. And then beneath that now is where you would have your polyurethane damp proof core, and then which is just basically a thin layer, so you don't even have to put that in. But you have your sand blinding, so which is like an inch thick of sand or very weak concrete mix. So we're gonna put that beneath the concrete slab. So again, we have the floor finish, like when you plaster the floor. You have the 100 millimeter concrete slab, and then you have your sand blinding, and then beneath that now you're gonna have the hardcore layer, which is like, gravel and big stone and thing, what. All right, that one. So let me do an offset here of 150 millimeters or 6 inches, coming down like so, and then underneath this now is where we're gonna have our earth, compacted earth. So I'm just gonna put a line here. It doesn't have to be any specific distance downwards, because all of here is gonna be filled with earth and dirt. But rather than making the drawing look real crowded, filling up every bit of it with our hatch layers and stuff that we're gonna put after, I'm just gonna put a line, and then we'll do that after. So I'm gonna put the line, say a foot, 300 millimeters. So offset 1 foot, 300 millimeters down like that. Alright, so let's go and clean this up. We're gonna trim away all these lines, like so. We don't need, they're not gonna run behind the wall. I'm gonna do that. All right. So what we need to do now, I'm just gonna trim away all of these. Trim away all of this. Remember these lines running across here, these are going to be this one and this one, these are going to be hidden lines because the footing that's in the ground, this is not actually the footing that we are cutting through. This is the footing that we're cutting through, but there's a footing that's running behind. Let me show you. What we've cut through is right here. So we are seeing this footing here, but we're actually going to be seeing this footing off in the back. But because it's filled with dirt, we can't see it directly. So we have to represent it with hidden lines. These will be hidden lines. These lines are representative of this footing behind here that we'll be seeing from here through the dirt. So because it's not directly visible, we have to show it with hidden detail lines, sharp dash lines. All right. So let's go to the hatch layer. This video is probably really long by now. Hatch layer, and let me use this. Put that there, there, there. I'm gonna close the hatch creation so that we can do another one. The reason why, because if I select this, notice all of the hatch layers, hatch lines that I just created are attached to each other. So now when I create another, when I close the hatch creation and I do it again, I get a separate set of hatch lines that will be grouped together. Alright, so we're going to use concrete for this and concrete for the concrete slab over here. So let me just use the ARCONC, concrete. Let's use a different measurement. Start small, and if alright, still looks a bit thing. Let me use 50. Better, but let me use maybe 35. Like so. Right, so that's my concrete slab there, here, like so. And then I'm going to put my concrete here also. This footing is concrete, like so. Right, and then hit escape, or you could hit the close hatch. Let's go another one. We need to put sand here, well, the dots here and here, because it's basically sand. It's a mortar mix. So it's supposed to be AR sand, if I could find it. And then we'll use the gravels for the hardcore. So the sand is somewhere. I know you guys probably looking at it and being like, you just pass it. Yeah, I'm blind today. I'm tired. Okay, so I'm gonna do. Okay, here it is. AR sand. Yeah, I knew it was there all along. You know, just testing you. You failed. So I'm gonna do here. It's probably showing up, but because of how far apart they are, let me use 10. You can't see it. If I use 1, let's see if you can see that. No, that's too close. Let me use about that 10. Put it down here. Alright. So maybe 15 or maybe 20. Let's see. Right. So I'm gonna put that in here. Like so. And in here. Like so. Remember, AutoCAD needs to see the entire boundaries of where you're going to put the hatch in order to successfully do it. Alright, so the next one goes in there and in there. Good. So now here we said was the hardcore, so that's gonna look like rocks. I saw that on this side somewhere, gravel, right? So I'm gonna put that. You have to use a bigger number, so maybe let's try 500. um, Maybe it looks a little too big, but you could always adjust them. Alright, so that's gonna be that, like so. And then here now is gonna be the earth, as we said we're gonna use. So the ground, um, here it is, earth. So this is how we represent earth. I'm using 500 for this one. You could adjust it to whatever you want, to be honest. Same thing would all under here would be earth, but we don't need to put in all of that. So what we need to do now is what I'm going to do is actually trim away these lines and draw them back manually, using the correct um, type of lines. Okay, but I'm going to draw them back manually, so because I need to draw them from this point to that point. They were actually running from the entire footing. Alright, so let me get the line tool, get back to my layer, line tool, like so, and so, and then I'm just gonna offset it. Actually, I'm gonna copy it like this. I'm gonna copy the next one. It's the same length, I believe, but I'm just being safe. Alright, that didn't come out too good. Alright. I always tell my students to make sure to zoom in so you don't make these mistakes. Alright. Okay, so this line has to be a hidden line. So let's see if I could switch them. So I just switched it, didn't see anything. So I need to probably make it bigger, 1500, like so. So I just, you could create a new layer just for that, and put it on there. But I use the same layer and I just come across to this and change it to the layer that are here, the layers that are there. I'm going to match properties now. This, that. Okay. But yeah, this is basically it. What we need to do now is just to add in some dimensions, because CXC is going to ask you for some dimensions for the sectional plan. Alright, so sectional drawing. Alright, so I'm just going to come, let me bring these in a bit. Don't need it to be that long. So, and then we're basically gonna just show some dimensions. So we know this is 200. Like that. We're gonna go to annotate, continue. So from the top of here to there, that's 600. And then I'm gonna come right here, not the top of the floor finish. I'm gonna come right here. Right, that's where the floor, the top of the concrete slab is. If there was a window here, I would measure, to the bottom of the window and then to the top of the window. Actually, I should do it on this side over there. So I will go over there and do it instead. Since it's already there, I'm gonna do it from this side. So from here to here, bring it out 200, continue, bring it up to there, bring it up to this point. I don't care about that. Um, then the bottom of the window, that's 900, and then the top of the window, like so. Um, and then I'm gonna go to the top, well, the roof, like so. Um, and then what you can do, you could probably show on to the top of the roof, like that. Um, so that's one way you can do it. Or if you want, what you can do, these last two, you can leave them and probably put another layer. Um, put another layer from maybe here to top of the roof, like there, and bring it out like so. Alright. Um, and then maybe continue, put one up that way, like so. That way, so we know this measurement because we can minus the 1200 plus 900 from the 29, and that will give us this distance. I mean, either way, you are showing the same dimensions without having to show every single dimension. All right, we don't need to put one here, although we could, but you get the idea. um, you should also know that you need to put your labels for your rooms on the inside of each of these rooms. So this is the waiting room, and this over here is the office. So I'm actually going to let's make a copy of this and put it like that. Put that over here. Call this one office, and then move it across a little bit. Um, you can point out certain things, so we can, show some information. We could point out, let's say, point right here and say, you know, 25 millimeter thick um, floor finish, floor fin, and the rest information could be on reinforced concrete, on RC conc slab. Now all of this might not be necessary, but you would put in information because you're basically telling the builder what everything is. All right, so you're pointing to this and you're saying this, oh, this is um, the flow finish. You can point to the next layer inside and say this is the concrete slab, and put the dimensions also, 100 millimeter concrete slab. You know, this under here is the 150 millimeter hardcore. You could put that in also, like so. So 150 millimeter hardcore, um, and so on. Here, this is your ground line outside, so we can put something there too. And it says the GL, G.L ground line, and so on. We already know this is the footing. So we don't have to show. We already can see that this is 200 millimeters, and we already have a foundation plan. But what you can do, well, not what you can do for this drawing. For example, if they ask you to do It's a good point to bring up right now. If they ask you to do let's say a detailed drawing of just the footing, all right, you need to be able to do just like what we did here. But it would not be at the scale of 1 to 50. It would be at the scale of thing like 1 to 20. Or they would probably tell you what it is. If not, use 1 to 20. But the way how they would do it, they would show you a sectional drawing, and then they would have like a circle around it, like so, um, like that. They would have a circle around it like that. They would call it section um, A dash A, A1 dash A1 something. And basically what this means is that they want you to do a detailed drawing. So a detailed drawing is going to be just um, a zoomed up version of whatever this is at whatever scale they tell you. So just if they put a circle around the footing, that means to draw a detailed drawing of just the footing. All right. So because we're using AutoCAD, we have in all of the details, not a problem. So but if you were doing it traditionally, you would have to, your drawing will probably not have all these details, and you would have to really draw a detailed version of the foundation. So essentially, um, you would have to just do this on its own as a drawing with all of the pieces, all of the, the concrete floor slab, the concrete slab, the floor finish, the hardcore layer out, and all these things. You'll have them, and you'll have to label them with all the dimensions. You'll have to say 100 millimeter concrete slab, 150 millimeter hardcore, 25 millimeter thick um, floor finish, floor slab, etc. 600 by um, 200 millimeter footing, continuous strip footing, you would an 8-inch, 200 millimeter reinforced foundation wall, whatever. You'll have to put in all the information for a detailed drawing of just the foundation. They could actually do the same for the roof. They could put another thing like this and tell you to do a detailed drawing of this. Now, I recommend checking in your textbook, and you would see the members of the roof, but it's not far from this, from what you already have here. You would have your wall, you would have your rafter, and you would have to label everything. You would have to point out everything. As a matter of fact, you have to really do that. You really should do that for this drawing. So you would have to put um, like 50 by 150 millimeter hip rafter, um, and put in all of these details. So here we'll put 150 millimeter times 150 millimeter ridge board. Right. Um, for the You really should have also show the thickness of the the fascia board. That's here, which we said was 25. Let's come out. 25, come down. 200, come in, like so. Let me just um you really should show this. And remember, since this is, you actually cut through this, so it really should be shown as a cut also. This is your fascia board, and so on. But you would put in all the information for the roof. If there are any other rafters that you need to put in, like common rafters, you would point them out also, like this one. I would say 50 millimeters times 150 millimeters common rafter, right? Um, and then switch this to my dimensions there. All right, so let me leave this video here for now. Um, you you could probably even show like the height of the windows of the wall, but you already see that from over here, so we don't need to pour all that in. But basically, just as much information as possible. Um, but yeah, let me leave this video here because it's already long. We just need to put in the title underneath it, as you know. Um, the sectional drawing, section, call it A of office building at this scale. Now remember, if we put in, if they want us a detail of just the foundation or a detail of just the roof, they would show it like this on the diagram on the paper, and then you would have to do it, knowing what you know about your roof or knowing what you know about the foundation. You'd have to draw it and put in all of the labels of every bit of it and the dimensions, and then you'd have to put it at whatever scale they tell you, or if not, put it at the scale of 1 to 20, which is a lot smaller. Well, the drawing will be a lot bigger on the paper. All right, so let's leave the video here. This is the sectional drawing. If there's any more time by now for anybody to practice anything else, I would have liked to show you, but we've done this before, but I would have liked to show you in the video how to do, you know, a detailed drawing of the this roof section, or a detailed drawing of just the foundation, and using the short long break line and stuff like that properly. All right, but let's leave it like that. Practice up. Get ready for Monday. Basically, is one of these drawings that they're gonna bring. One of these type of drawings. A floor plan, foundation, roof elevations, or a sectional. So prepare yourself and all the best.